Welcome back to Lizz's Reviews, and today I'm going to review Spider-Man 3, but in a different kind of a way. So I'm going to show you guys my top 5 reasons why I disliked Spider-Man 3 and why I ultimately was disappointed with this movie. Constant use of CGI, and a lot more of it, is a big, one of those big factors that in Spider-Man 3 leads it down a lot. You don't really get to see a lot of Peter Parker in just scenes of him just behind a green screen, which I prefer. There's a lot of screens where he's just has a digital face, particularly the example when him and Harry are fighting each other at the start of the movie, and later on when he fights Eddie Brock. I felt like that scene itself could have been version. I saw a lot more CGI, and I felt like that kind of brings down the film, as whereas the first two films didn't rely on CGI, whereas this film, it clearly relies on CGI. So, you can like it or this. The villains, and how many villains there were in this film. Guys, if you haven't seen Spider-Man 3, I'm going to name 3 villains that I could pick out. Well, 4 actually. The first one we talk about is Harry Osborn, the New Goblin. Harry wants to take revenge on Peter after he's found out his dad had passed away, and he blamed Spider-Man for it. And in the last movie, in Spider-Man 2, he finds out that Peter Parker the Sandman, who, in my opinion, isn't really a villain. He's just a criminal that has been tough on his luck and just made some bad decisions, but he doesn't really act like a villain. Out of his way to hurt people. He only goes out of his way to defend himself against people who are trying to hurt him and trying to stop him from helping his sick daughter. So his motives are very genuine and nice, because he's trying to help his daughter recover from being sick, and he's trying to, The third one to name is Eddie Brock, who likes to compete with Peter Parker, and he ends up hating Peter Parker because he costs Eddie his job, and eventually Eddie becomes Venom, but for 15 minutes of the film or 20 minutes of the film, which is ridiculous. And like I said, he's just a very generic last minute villain. So number 3, the characters. There are so many key characters that are in this film that you just don't really feel like should be in there. Eddie Brock is in here, along with the Sandman, and you get to see Gwen Stacy. Harry Osborn is in this film, along with Mary Jane, Aunt May. And you just really get confused with how the direction of this film. The direction is just ridiculous. And they spend too much time trying to give each of these characters a little bit of screen time, and it's a big mess. You can't really feel like necessary bullshit of these characters are in this film. They try to focus on and giving Eddie Brock his own kind of a story, but they mess it up so bad that you kind of don't even give a shit that he's Venom, and you kind of think they wasted their time trying to put their money into Venom. And the Sandman does get good time, but his character also doesn't really fit the villain role that Harry Osborn was a really good character, but then they went and switched him to being a good guy again and giving him amnesia, which means he doesn't remember Peter doing his thing with his dad. Anyway, number 2, the acting and obliviousness from Peter Parker, Tobey Maguire. Tobey Maguire, who portrays Peter Parker, is very oblivious in this movie. A lot of shit happens to a lot of people, and he's oblivious to it. And it's just like he doesn't see it happening, whereas he's trying to help him out in whatever way he can, instead of trying to give him, inspire them to you're gonna be alright, it's okay. And I just felt like he was a bit oblivious in this movie. When he gets to the Black Spider-Man suit, he doesn't question it. He only questions it at the end when he goes too far on Harry Osborn. Like that. The fact that the acting is just garbage. How they switch Peter from having brown hair to black hair. The fact that they make him look like an emo and then dance like he's confident. It doesn't make you like Peter Parker's character. It kind of makes you annoyed at his character a lot of the time. And it's just like when he's the Venom symbiote, he doesn't need to act like that. He just could be fine just being an aggressive type person, but he's oblivious to, like, you know, the change. Number one, the script and the plot are the worst by far. Cramming all this shit in, cramming all the characters in, makes this film the worst. Trying to introduce the Sandman, trying to introduce the new Goblin, trying to introduce Venom, Gwen Stacy, all these characters and all these subplots. Mary Jane trying to be with Peter Parker, but he's kind of a bit on the fence because he's in a bit of a love triangle with Gwen Stacy. The fact that the last bat fight has Mary Jane, the damsel in distress, again. They did this the third time in a row. Why does this have to happen in a Spider-Man movie? Why can't it just be Spider-Man facing off against a villain? Doesn't have a woman to save. He doesn't need to do that for him to go fight this villain. He could just go off and fight this villain. And yeah, just the fact that this movie is so it's just too confusing. It's so mixed. Like, I don't know where to go. Who's the fucking main villain? It goes from the Goblin, the new Goblin, to the Sandman, to the Goblin again, to the Sandman, to Venom. And Sandman and Venom work together to fight Harry and Peter, which I felt was the transition from Harry becoming Peter's friend again and teaming up to fight was just ridiculous. It was not needed. Like, you could have just had Harry as the main villain. Have him the main villain. Focus. It was building up to be the main villain anyway. So instead of doing all this garbage with Venom, doing all this garbage with the Sandman and Gwen Stacy, kick all those people out and just have the film about those three people. The people who started this film. Mary Jane, Kirsten Dunst, James Franco, Harry Osborn, and Peter Parker, Tobey Maguire. Anyway, I hope you enjoy this top 5 most disappointing reasons of Spider-Man 3. I'm also going to do another kind of review. It's not going to be more of a review. It's going to be a discussion of how they could have made it better. I wanted to do something different for my reviews this week instead of just doing normal movie reviews. Anyway, if you enjoy this review, hit a like. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. If you are interested in more content, place your request in the comment section below. Thank you again, guys. See ya. Bye.